We're sitting down with Nate Barnes with Quartz Hill Records. How are you, and how is everything going with your radio tour so far?
I'm good. How you doing, Julie?
I am doing great. I know you're out introducing your debut single, You Ain't Pretty, which has really been embraced by the industry. It was the top 10 added for multiple weeks. So what has this whole experience been like for you, going back and forth, coast to coast, and just visiting radio stations?
Well, it's been bizarre in a very good way. You know, not that long ago, I was up in Michigan working in a nuclear power plant. So to have all this happen, and as you said, you know, even just to be on the radio, it's like it's crazy to think that I'm sitting here and my songs on the radio. I had a friend of mine just send me a message on my phone today talking about, hey, they're playing your song and listening to it, and it's just like, it's very humbling, you know, so it's pretty amazing.
Well, no, it's awesome. I love the new track. I love how you kind of just mix the modern sound of country, but also you've got that just total classic country sound to it, just kind of bringing everything back full circle. So tell us a little bit about the track and how this whole single came to life.
Yeah, well, thank you for saying that. That really does mean a lot. That you know, when we first kind of wrote the song, that lick that you hear when you hear the acoustic guitar coming in the intro, you know, that really came from Jimmy Yeary, my co-writer on the song, and he just felt so good and so, like, I don't know, the best way to describe it was honest. Just felt so honest, and to hear it come from that, and then the song that we created, and you know, Mickey Jack Combs and Derek George was my producers, and those guys are some legendary producers, and you know, they just saw the vision, they saw what needed to be done, they heard what we heard, and got the right session guys, and just turned out to be one of these just amazing, incredible songs that you hear on the record. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I know it's the lead single to an EP.
Yep.
So you have it's five songs in this collection. So tell us about that project.
Yeah, so there's 5 songs. Of course, You Ain't Pretty's on there, and that came out a few months back, and it's been great to have that's my first you know, real EP ever out to country, and had a lot of people. It's been pretty good success so far. So
No, for sure.
yes.
And then I know you're also working on another big project,
Yeah.
perhaps a debut album. Might be on the way here sometime soon or not. But what can you tell us about that project that's ahead?
Yeah, so it's coming out. I don't really know when it's coming
That's
out.
fine.
I think maybe somewhere in October to November, I think.
Sure.
But yeah, so we just cut 7 more songs,
Wow.
and it'll be 12 length song album, and it's gonna be exciting. There's gonna be a lot more rockin' songs and a lot more good country songs. So.
Awesome. Well, that's exciting.
Yes.
And being a debut album, I mean, there's a lot of firsts that go into that. But so far, has there been a standout moment for you, maybe even in the recording studio, just that's been going into this album?
Yeah, so there's a song that's called Ain't Got a Shot that when we cut that song, we didn't know how people would feel about that song because it was a pretty slow ballad. And but me, I grew up kind of in bluesy, listening to blues from my granddad, and I really in Motown, and I love, besides country, so I really loved that song, so people were apprehensive. So I remember when we were cutting that song, in the middle of cutting it, the whole room shifted, and the players, everybody, you could feel it, and they started loving the song, and they started digging into the song. By the time the song was done, we got done with that session, we all looked at each other and were like, what the heck just happened? I mean, it was incredible. And I knew right then, like, when that, you know, besides all the songs felt like that, but that one in particular, everybody felt it instantly. And so that would be probably one of the most things that stood out to me in that project.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you have such an interesting backstory. So in addition to being, you know, a singer, songwriter, performer, you recently just walked out of the workforce. I mean, you put in you were a hard worker, put in some serious hours, but now you're on the other side of things, still hardworking and putting in serious hours. But how's that transition been from going from, you know, working hands-on in a field to being an artist?
It's pretty wild. You know,
Yeah.
Benny Brown, I mean, plucked me out of the dang power plant, and here I am going all over the country and singing country music. It's a whole new, it's a lot very different, but I love every minute of it. It's been amazing. I still got a lot to learn, but I got an amazing crew and team surrounding me, and we just take it a day at a time and keep on working.
With concerts and shows, you know, picking back up and hopefully that momentum continues, how would you best describe your set? Like, what can fans expect from coming to see one of your shows?
Energy, a lot of energy, fun. It's grit, a lot of grit, and loud, but strong. Strong. Yeah.
Okay.
Good old party.
There you go.
Yeah.
2020 was clearly a challenging year for all of us, but I feel like there was a lot to learn from it. What was one of your biggest takeaways from last year? Or, I mean, even into the last year and a half?
Well, not to get all religious or anything, but you know, at that time I was living in a hotel room in Nashville, in the middle of that pandemic with just me and my dog. I just left everybody and everything I've ever known, and this great career. And I'm living in this hotel, and it seemed like nothing was gonna, like the whole world stopped, which it did. But I really got close. I had my faith grew tremendously in that time. I learned to just I've always struggled with trying to stay in the moment a lot, and that really helped me stay in the moment, stay grounded, stay focused on what am I doing today, stay grateful for that, and I really built that a lot stronger in my life. So that's kind of probably the main thing that I took away from that.
Nice.
Yeah.
And as fans are, you know, just starting to get to know you and you're introducing yourself with, you know, yourself and your new music, what would be one thing you would want to convey to fans about yourself and your music?
It's real. I think real, honest, and what you see is what you get, what you hear is what you get, and it's I guess it truly is me. You know, I really feel that in these songs and the way I perform them too, and how they turned out. It's just truly what's in my heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah.
And with this past year, I kind of feel like music was such a great outlet for people who we've really been able to listen to the music, not just hear the music, but actually everything was resonating, lyrics especially were resonating. What have you been listening to lately? If someone were to get a hold of your playlist, what are they going to find on it?
A lot of stuff. I mean, I'll tell you what, there's a guy I love is Paul Cauthen.
Okay.
He's an incredible country. He's like, like an underground, but he's incredible. Paul Cauthen, Tyler Childers, Cody James.
Yes. Okay.
Even guys like the Bleacher. There's these UK bands that I love, the Arkells. I mean, there's just so many, a lot of different types of people.
Yeah. No, that's great.
But then I was listening this morning to some Waylon, to some Willie. I mean, it's just a lot of different.
And then finally, country music, it resonates with so many people on so many different levels, even as it evolves and grows, which it continuously does. What is one thing about this genre that really resonates with you?
It tells the truth. You know, when I was 21 years old, I knew when I had a buddy of mine, Dennis Hartman, come into my life, and I was searching for the truth in my life, and I kind of ran from country music. Like, I've loved country music, but I never played it. And at that time in my life, I was kind of searching for truth and stuff in my own life, and then he reintroduced country music in a way that I finally could hear it because it told the truth, and I was running away from the truth. That's the one thing that I think country music does the best out of any genre. It tells, it talks about the truth.
No, for sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Nate, thank you so much for taking the time to catch up with us. Thank you for playing some of your new music for us tonight. We definitely enjoyed it, and we can't wait to see you out on the road again soon.
Well, thanks for having me. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
I ain't ever seen you looking any less than a 10. Every time's like an angel walked in, stealing my heart again and again, baby. I've seen your hair up, girl, and I've seen it fall. Makeup on and makeup off, inside out, I've seen it all.